Meet Eddie, a struggling writer. Eddie lacks motivation to finish his book. He spends his days drinking and watching Bruce Lee movies. He tries to enforce a rule upon himself to not leave the room without writing something, but still ends up with nothing. Ed is also lazy about cleaning his apartment. His girlfriend, Lindy, feeling dragged down by his lifestyle, breaks up with Ed because he refuses to change his ways. However, something unexpected happens, a happenstance that would change his life. Ed bumps into his ex-wife's brother-in-law, Vernon. Vernon inquires about Eddie's life and asks him why he looks like he lives on the streets. Vernon asks Ed to grab a drink with him. As they sit down, Vernon inquires about Eddie's book. Ed, feeling a mix of shame and frustration, tells Vernon the truth. He's been experiencing a severe case of writer's block. He's struggling to come up with words, and his creative well has run dry. Vernon listens intently, nodding his head. "I think I might have something that can help," he says with a hint of a smile. Eddie raises an eyebrow, skeptical. "What is it?" he asks. Vernon pulls out a small clear pill from his jacket. "This is NZT, a cognitive enhancer," he explains. "It's been FDA approved, and it's completely safe." Eddie's hesitation is palpable, and Vernon senses it. "I know what you're thinking, Eddie," he says, "but I am no dealing anymore. I work as a consultant for the pharmaceutical company that produces NZT." Eddie remains uncertain, but Vernon's persistence is unwavering. He leaves Eddie with the pill and his business card. Outside his building, Eddie takes out his keys along with the clear super pill. He looks at the pill and wonders, since my life is already not so great, what could possibly go wrong, before popping the pill into his mouth. On his way to his apartment, Eddie bumps into the landlord's wife. She starts lamenting about rent Eddie is behind on. However, just as the conversation is becoming uncomfortable, the super pill kicks in, allowing Eddie to access 100% of his brain. Eddie spots a law book inside the woman's purse and suddenly remembers the book from his college days. He recalls unintentionally reading it while waiting to get laid. Eddie figures out that the woman is using the law book to write a paper and tells her that it's the wrong book if she wants to stand out. He offers to help her write her paper, and they work together. The evening ends with them intimacy, probably fueled by their shared frustration with the landlord's high rent costs. Thanks to the clear super pill, Eddie's mind is crystal clear. He suddenly knows what he needs to do and how to do it. First, he starts cleaning up his apartment, tackling the mess that he had accumulated. Then, he sits down at his desk and finishes writing his book within just a few hours. However, in the morning, the motivation and clarity provided by the pill are gone. But one thing remains, the book he had written. Eddie takes it to his publisher and tells her that the words just flowed onto the paper. She is astonished as she reads on and calls him later to tell him she loves the book. They schedule its release for the following year. Eddie, now hooked on the incredible powers of NZT, visits his brother-in-law, Vernon, to ask for more pills. Vernon realizes that Ed is hooked and decides to use that to his advantage. He starts using Ed as his errand boy, sending him to buy lunch and pick up dry cleaning. However, when Eddie returns, he finds something shocking, Vernon's lifeless body on the couch. Eddie calls the police and quickly pieces together what might have transpired. He realizes that whoever murdered Vernon was probably searching for the same thing, the NZT pills. Ed searches the apartment and eventually finds the stash of pills. He starts taking one pill a day, and the results are astonishing. He transforms his image, writes book after book, learns the piano in less than 3 days, and even learns new languages. Eddie has become limitless once again. Eddie's limitless life still didn't feel enough, so he sought change. He stopped writing and started day trading. He easily made new friends, and his anxiety and shyness vanished. However, Eddie felt he was moving too slowly. He borrowed $100,000 from a shady loan shark to trade with bigger money. Using his new connections, he landed a job as a day trader. In just 10 days, he became the first person to make $2 million. Eddie's success also led to a rekindled romance with his ex-girlfriend, Lindy. News of his accomplishments spread, and he received numerous job offers. Big players in the industry took notice of him. On the subway, Eddie gets attacked by a group of thugs, but he remembers Bruce Lee's moves and uses them to defend himself against the attackers. Eddie meets up with Kara and impresses him with his stock-picking skills. Carl decides to hire him and tasks Eddie with helping facilitate a merger. If successful, Eddie will earn $40 million as soon as the deal is signed. Thanks to the power of NZT, Eddie's career is soaring. Ed is now popular with women, and his nervousness around Pretty Woman is gone. However, he had forgotten all about his debt to the shady loan shark. The loan shark comes to collect his money, and Eddie quickly pays up. But the loan shark discovers Eddie's secret, the clear super pill. He starts threatening Eddie, demanding that he hand over some pills every week. Eddie notices he's being followed while with his girlfriend, but he dismisses it. He knows the shady loan shark won't stop demanding more super pills. To protect himself, Eddie hires bodyguards to follow him around. He tells the loan shark to forget about getting anything else from him. However, thanks to the NZT, the loan shark has become smarter. He threatens to tell his Wall Street buddies about Eddie's involvement with the super pills if he doesn't comply with his demands. During a meeting with Carl, Eddie struggles to focus. He's distracted by the news of the murder of a woman he was with the other night. The police take him in for questioning, but Eddie hires the best lawyer in New York. Eddie starts experiencing withdrawal symptoms when he doesn't take the super pill. Desperate for a solution, he uses the law book he found in his brother-in-law's apartment to find the contact list of everyone Vernon had sold NZT to. He finds his ex-wife's contact information and calls her to meet up. In the park, Eddie tries to contact another person on the list to learn more about the side effects of the super pill. However, the stalker answers the phone, and when he realizes Eddie is the one who called, he chases Eddie. Eddie meets up with his ex-wife, who reveals that she also took NZT in the past. The pill gave her superhuman abilities, but she became suspicious because no one can operate at such a high mental capacity without collapsing. She stopped taking the pill and got sick. She advises Eddie not to stop taking the pill entirely but dial down his dose. Eddie collapses in his girlfriend's office and confesses the truth about his sudden brilliance. He asks her to fetch the super pill from her apartment. On her way back, she notices a strange man following her and warns Eddie. He tells her to take the super pill, saying it will help her think her way out of the situation. She takes the pill and manages to escape the man. Eddie realizes he'll soon run out of the NZT pill, so he finds a scientist and promises to pay him millions to reverse engineer the pill. Eddie continues working on the merger with Carl. To ensure his girlfriend's safety, he buys an $8 million safe apartment. On the day the contract is to be signed, the wife arrives and informs them that her husband is in the ICU and can't sign without his permission. Eddie notices the woman's driver is the same guy who has been stalking him. This revelation suggests that his boss was also on NZT and has run out. Eddie goes to the police station with his lawyer to stand with the other suspects, so the witness can identify the victim. Eddie is released from the police station, only to discover that his stash of NZT pills is gone. His contract with Carl falls through when the man who's supposed to sign the merger dies. The man's wife publicly announces his passing and denies any knowledge of a merger. The shady loan shark, seeking revenge, shows up at Eddie's apartment with his goons. However, Eddie manages to outsmart them. Undeterred, Eddie decides to venture into politics. He quickly rises through the ranks, becoming a senior politician and eventually running for mayor.